Welcome to Wellness. It's your favorite biochemist. Let's just jump right into this. Parents, please share this type of information with your children because we are in the age of enlightenment. If you notice, a lot of the restaurants are offering healthier options. That's because they have been sued. They have been sued. And they have been sued for misinformation. We have a large misinformation campaign going on. The reason that these lawsuits have been effective because the FDA has also been sued, Food and Drug Administration. Once again, for misinformation. So one of your favorites here, they're being sold because they were telling you that something is healthy when it's not, and vice versa. It also goes with our blood pressure pharmaceuticals and manufacturers. They have been telling you that certain things that you should not have in your diet, that you should have in your diet. And because of that, there's been a plethora of lawsuits. There's one. There's your favorite right there. And one of the culprits that has been receiving a bad name is this thing right here. That's right, sodium. Sodium. My most humble opinion, one of the most, well, yeah, I would say one of the more necessary ions that are in our body, and you must have it. It's an alkali metal. Let's see. This is how. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me. Back on down here. And this is how sodium looks. It's a metal. Now, you will not find sodium like this in nature. Most of the time, I doubt you'll ever find it like this in nature. And it is soft. You can cut it with a butter knife. And if I was to take this little bit of sodium right there, because it's very reactive in nature, but if I were to take this bit and throw it in water, you get a reaction similar to this. This piece of sodium tossed into water. It's, again, very reactive, very violent reaction. But that's why I think it's so important, because in our cells, in our bodies, we have what's called a sodium-potassium pump. This is the outside of the cell. This is the inside of the cell. This right here is sodium, okay? If you notice, it has a plus here because sodium has an electric charge, a positive electric charge, because it's an alkali metal. And what it does is, here's the sodium-potassium pump right there, and it lets things in and out of your cells, okay? That's how you live, by things going in and out of your cells. This particular thing here is called adenosine triphosphate. It's responsible for every single movement imaginable in your body. So you need it. And there's sodium right there. There are the health benefits of sodium. Improves the skin, and it does. When Marco Polo, so he discovered the fountain of youth, it had salt water in it. But right here, removes excess CO2. I think this is really important right now, taking consideration many of us are forced to wear masks or wear masks right now. You breathe out CO2 or carbon dioxide. So you need a healthy amount of sodium to help get rid of that CO2 that you're breathing in. Improves teeth. If you notice right here, that is salt, because essentially that's what sodium is, or that's part of sodium. That's how we intake it, or see it as salt. Okay? Now, what is this? This is a flask. A flask of what, Kay? A flask of chlorine gas, chloride gas. Why do we have that there? Well, if you were to throw some sodium into a flask of chloride gas, you would get sodium chloride, also known as salt or table salt. This is table salt. Sodium chloride makes table salt. If we were to look at a microscopic level, that's how it looks. If you notice, it has these small, like crystals, square crystals. That is the optimum form of sodium, which means that's the best shape it could take for sodium to perform the duties that it performs. There it goes again, square shape. I'm showing that for a reason. Now, Where does sodium come from, though? Because remember, you're not going to find it in nature that chunk of metal we saw. Sodium actually exists as energetic charged particles, very tiny, and I'll get into how tiny in a moment. So here's the Earth. Here's the crust right here. About 10 kilometers up, you get lightning. Even higher, you get what's called sprites. Very beautiful. You ever have a chance to see it. And within what's called the ionosphere, you will have your sodium, which are known as ions or energetic charged particles. And these particles are constantly bombarded with cosmic rays, electromagnetic energy, and if you're a holy man or religious man like me, you know energetic charged particles, also known as angels, because it's energy or energy beings. That's what they are. Now, right here is the Earth. Let's give you an even better idea. Here's the Earth. We have here what's called the troposphere, stratosphere, our famous ozone layer, and above that is all this called the ionosphere. Now, the aurora is also called, once again, where religion and science, same thing to me, is translate into the gateway to heaven. That's what the ionosphere is right here. If you're a religious man like me, your Bible will tell you the aurora, that's the gateway to heaven. But maybe if you're like a Muslim, Prophet Muhammad said there are 7 layers, he said 7 planes before the gates of heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is what he meant. I know a lot of my friends, they're into Santeria, the 7 African gods. These are the 7 African gods, each layer. This layer right here would be Shango, or the fire god. If you're Catholic, this is Santa Barbara. Right here would be Ilegua. Also, if you're Catholic, Saint Anthony. So if you're Catholic, you also practice. You have the 7 saints, and these are the 7 saints. So let's consider this model of sodium chloride or salt. That's your sodium, that's your chloride. They're held together by what's called an ionic bond. An electric static bond is what hold these things together. Remember, in a square shape. Now, this one right here, give you an idea. This one sodium ion, to give you an idea of how small those particles are. One of those sodium ions, okay? One of them, okay? I would need this many sodium ions. This number is septillion. You have 24 zeros behind it. One of these, okay? In order to have one of these, okay? One of these, if I were to take septillion of them, will make up about this much of that salt. About that much right there. Just this much right here. That much. If I were to take it, it'll make up maybe that much of that salt. That's how small those energetically. Yet nonetheless, in order for us to get this, we consume it as salt. So what do? We eat our salt. Now, keep in mind, like this thing has been bombarded with electromagnetic energy and everything, okay? So you eat it. Now, in order for this to work for us, we need what? That's right. There we go. Water. That's a water molecule. H2O. H, these two. H2, 2 hydrogens. That's 1 hydrogen. That's another hydrogen connected to an oxygen. Oxygen. Okay. That's your oxygen element. That's your hydrogen. That's water. Now, water also a good conductor of electricity, also has a negative and positive charge. The hydrogen end of the water molecule will be positive. the oxygen end will be negative. Drink the water, you consume the salt. Man, here comes the water. You need lots of water for this. So the first process is going to break salt down like so. But you need it broken down more than that because you need that bond broken. And the only way to accomplish that is what? That's right, more water. Because you want that bond to turn into this, to their respective ions, also known as electrolytes. So what the water is going to do is the negative end is going to attract to the positive sodium, and the positive end of water is going to attract to the negative chloride. And something really beautiful happened. With a sufficient amount of water, and only the sufficient amount of water, this is what happens. The water molecules surround each ion, also known as electrolytes. These are conductors. These are carrying electricity. Now remember, these things, sodium came all the way from the heavens, came to earth and created a salt, did something magical to the water in your body. Remember, these are known as ions. It has ionized your water. And look at the shape, a square, optimized. Remember, the most optimal shape. Also, here, a square. But what else is sodium? There you have it. Remember, it's an alkali metal. You have alkalized the water in your body. You have ionized the water in your body. You have ionized water in your body and alkali water in your body. Now, the way that you want to consume it. You don't want to consume alkali water, or you don't want your water alkalized before it's in your body. Because the alkali water will not take shape around the salt that's already in your body. You want to ionize and alkalize your water once it's in your body, not outside your body. But even something that's more amazing, keep in mind that this is the electronically charged particle, energetically charged particle, a magnetically charged particle. The Earth is on a magnetic pole. You have the North Pole and the South Pole. Okay, so your Earth is magnetized. It has magnetic energy in the Earth. This will always flow toward this proper pole. Some people who are religious, such as myself, alchemists, we call this, because remember, Jesus said he saw God in the eye of the pineal after his salt water ritual. This will always have you will always flow with the natural magnetic energy of the Earth if you consume them enough. This is called being at one with God. Some of my friends are atheists, so this is called being at one with nature and the earth. For my enlightened friends, this is what's called being on your square. But for all human beings, this is called being healthy. These things are flowing with the electromagnetic composition of the earth. So it's always going to guide you in the right path. You're always going to think properly. You're always going to flow properly. All you have to do is consume enough water with your salty snacks. Even if you have a salty snack, you just have to drink extra water. That's it. It's the key of life. Stay well, my friends. Stay well.